So I'm having a chat with Jeff of Call Me Amour. How are you?
Very good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. So we've been playing a single of yours called Good Day. Tell us a bit about the single first
Yeah.
of all.
Single. I think we wrote that. It was an idea that was floating around for a while, and then it progressed when we were on tour on the Yumi at Six tour, where we'd be sound checking and we'd just mess around with the idea and add bits to it. Initially, it wasn't something that struck us, but it grew a bit more on us as we went along. And then when we went to the studio, it was one of the ideas we gave to the producer. And Mikey Chapman was with us at the time from Mallory Knox. It pricked his ears up, and he thought he'd like to be a part of that one. So, we got involved there with Mikey. Harry and Mikey worked together quite closely on the vocal melodies and the lyrics, and yeah, we recorded it. Happy with the result. It turned out to be one of the songs that we really do like out of the EP.
Good, good. And that is off your second EP. Tell us a bit about the second EP of yours.
Second EP, it's out. I think not sure the exact release date. I know there's another single coming out from the EP in February when we're away on this next tour.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's self-titled, 5 tracks on it. We probably will be releasing it as a double along with the other EP on vinyl, I think is the plan. But yeah, 5 tracks, different kind of not a different direction altogether. I think it's more back to rock roots, as opposed to we did a lot of like EDM ideas and then built rock around it. We
Mm.
switched it this way. We did it like more guitar orientated live band rock music, and then we just sprinkled it with all the EDM sections. But yeah, we're happy with it. It's definitely a growth from the last EP.
Yeah, yeah. The sound that you've made with this EP, is it the sound you wanted, or is it just how it turned out when you were in the studio?
I think we kind of knew from the raw ideas that we had where how it was going to sound, how we wanted it to sound. But a lot of it we did, a lot of the ideas and the sound came in the studio, which is I think is the best way to do it. It's good to have a demo and a direction, but once you're in the studio, plus we had George Parks, who's the producer that did the EP. He's worked with Enter Shikari, Skindred, phenomenal producer, and his head for music is, unbelievable. So he helped a lot in crafting like what we wanted. We already had the idea, but he was so good to work with and with his suggestions and coming up with the sound. So yeah, massively, big respect to George for coming up with the ideas and helping us out with the sound.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you've been extensively touring. Yumi at Six and Mallory Knox, as you've mentioned. How was the touring in
Yeah.
2024?
Good. Yeah, really good. Exciting places. Some places we've never played before. Um, Good to go out, with the likes of Yumi at Six. Where they're heading now, the direction they go. They're pulling the pin, so to speak. So
Yeah.
to be on tour with a band as big as they are when they're bowing out was a great experience. And then to follow it up to go out with Maui Knox on the opposite end of the spectrum, their kind of comeback sort of tour. Plus being friends with Mikey, it was just a great experience and great to see them live as well
Yeah, absolutely.
every
And
night. It was a bit of a bonus. That was like to get to see them every night. So
yeah, yeah. And another band you get to see every night is Set It Off when you're out on tour with them in just a couple of weeks' time now, I think.
yeah, yeah, 2 weeks roughly. I think we're in Stockholm on the 29th or the 30th. I'm not 100% sure of the dates, but yeah, 2 weeks and we're heading off again. So I think we've got like a pre-production day in London, um, the 26th, 27th, and then we fly to Stockholm where we'll meet up with the tour bus and the band, and that's the first date. So yeah, again, I'm looking forward to it. We get to get play in a few places we haven't, a few different countries that we've never played in, but we always seem to the crowds in Europe. They're just. I mean, I was originally told that the crowds in Europe weren't as responsive as they are in the UK, but that's not the case at all. We've gone down really well in Europe, so looking forward to getting back out there again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to take you through until into March now. So then we'll be heading quite quickly into festival season. You hoping to be doing the festival run this year?
Fingers crossed. There are things happening in the pipeline. Nothing's confirmed, but that was always one of the things we wanted to lean towards doing some of the festivals like Reading, Download,
Yeah.
all them. So yeah, it's in someone else's hands at the minute. So I'm just praying that their hands work well, if you know what I mean, and we can get on that.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for that. I'd like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So
Yeah.
for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Um, I mean, we tend to write better when we're under pressure. So we're lazy in that sense. We'll have a few ideas that just come up organically when you're messing about with the guitar. You're sitting in front of your computer like I am now with all the studio stuff around me, and occasionally you'll put a guitar idea down or a demo and then send it to Harry, and Harry will like listen to it, and then you all get to listen to it and add your ideas. But yeah, that's how it starts. It starts out as just a thought, and then like throw an idea down, and sometimes it gets left and then brought back again like a year later. But um, we just build on it from the demo, and then when we go into the studio, obviously we've got like a structure and a sound and a chorus, verse, um, lyrics already. Harry will like mainly he's the storyteller side of it. Um, yeah, and then work with the producer and sort of craft a sound between us all.
Is it pretty straightforward once you step into that studio then?
No, it's never straightforward. I mean, it's good in a way because you bounce off each other. Some ideas is not, not everyone's keen on that idea because it's quite hard to get your point across of what you want to sound like. So, for instance, I could suggest we do a song where we have like a middle section that's quite like a drop, like a big riff,
Yeah.
and other people might not understand it until you get it down. They'll go, actually, that's good. So we kind of do a lot of that, kind of like niggly, not niggly, but there's arguments of, I don't think that'll work. And then, well, let's just give it a go. And then it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It works. So, yeah, that's kind of how it works in the studio. It never goes straightforward, like where everyone goes, yeah, that's perfect. Let's go with that. So,
No, fair enough. Fair enough. And EP2 is, of course, already done by now. Have thoughts been put in place for EP3, or are we into album territory yet?
well, this is a discussion that we've been having whether to put out an album or just go for EP3. I think we're leaning towards EP number three for now, and then maybe an album either early next year or later on this year. We have got plans to go into the studio after this tour, and we do have some ideas. It's just that they are at the very sort of basic level at the minute, and we need to all get together. Which again, the tour will probably bring out a lot of it because we tend to sound check, mess about on the tour bus, and
Yeah.
build ideas that way. So I think EP number three is next.
Nice. Do you think you know what direction you might take it in?
Um, not. I mean, for now, we'll have these kind of ideas that we've got. I think they're so basic, but we know they're going to sound good. So once we get into the studio with George, George will lend his ear to it, and plus we will have um, friends of ours. I won't say who, but that are in other bands, bigger bands that they come in the studio and they offer their ears to it and say, "Oh, try this, try that," and so yeah, I think we'll probably the same direction as the last EP. We'll try and go in with like a basic rock sound, and then everyone can pitch their ideas and build it. And then you start as it starts to build, you hear more ideas coming in. So I don't really know how it's going to end up. We just know it'll be rock with EDM, which is kind of where we want to head. But yeah, the studio will bring it out like a more defined sort of idea.
Yeah. Awesome. Jeff, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it.